If we look to the answer as to why for so many years we achieved so much, prospered as no other people on earth, it was because here in this land, we unleashed the energy and individual genius of man to a greater extent than has ever been done before. Freedom and the dignity of the individual have been more available and assured here than in any other place on earth. The price for this freedom at times has been high, but we have never been unwilling to pay that price. Those who say that we're in a time when there are no heroes, they just don't know where to look. The sloping hills of Arlington National Cemetery, with its row upon row of simple white markers bearing crosses or stars of David, they add up to only a tiny fraction of the price that has been paid for our freedom. Each one of those markers is a monument to the kind of hero I spoke of earlier. Their lives ended in places called Belleau Wood, the Argonne, Omaha Beach, Salerno, and halfway around the world on Guadalcanal, Tarawa, Pork Chop Hill, the Chosin Reservoir, and in 100 rice paddies and jungles of a place called Vietnam. Under one such marker lies a young man, Martin Treptow, who left his job in a small-town barber shop in 1917 to go to France with the famed Rainbow Division. There on the Western Front, he was killed trying to carry a message between battalions under heavy artillery fire. We're told that on his body was found a diary. On the flyleaf, under the heading, "My Pledge," he had written these words: "America must win this war. Therefore I will work, I will save, I will sacrifice, I will endure. I will fight cheerfully and do my utmost as if the issue of the whole struggle depended on me alone." We must realize that no arsenal or no weapon in the arsenals of the world is so formidable as the will and moral courage of free men and women. It is a weapon our adversaries in today's world do not have. It is a weapon that we as Americans do have. Let that be understood by those who practice terrorism and prey upon their neighbors. As for the enemies of freedom, those who are potential adversaries, they will be reminded that peace is the highest aspiration of the American people. We will negotiate for it, sacrifice for it. We will not surrender for it now or ever. We are Americans.
The United States of America is the most successful nation the world has ever known. And I think that's largely because we're the freest nation. Humans cannot reach their potential, cannot realize their dreams unless they're free.
If prosperity were easy, everybody around the world would be prosperous. If freedom were easy, everybody around the world would be free. If security were easy, everybody around the world would be secure. They are not. None of this is going to be easy. But this is the United States of America. It takes an extraordinary effort. It takes extraordinary commitment. It takes extraordinary strength. The Valley Forge wasn't easy. Going to the moon wasn't easy. Settling the West wasn't easy. We are the American people. We have seen difficulties before, and we always overcome. This is about rolling up our sleeves. I mean, we're going to have some differences, but as Americans, putting our head down and getting it done.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Today, I'm very proud of myself.
Newsmax calls him a top 50 most influential black Republican in the country. Liberals call him. The president calls him Wayne.
We do love Wayne, right? We love Wayne, right?
Broadcasting live from the We Are America radio studio in Baltimore, Maryland. This is the Wayne Dupree Show. Here's your host, Wayne Dupree, with co-host Hutch Bailey Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wayne Dupree Show. I'm your host, Wayne Dupree, here on War Radio, We Are America Radio. Broadcasting on Spreaker.com, also RSBN, K-Truth, Red Nation Rising, WCCD-AM, 1000 out of the greater Cleveland area, and on...
Thank you. You will now be placed in the queue.
Thank you. I'm now in the queue.
Okay,
you still there, man? It's CRN.
So, and also CRN Ginger to Talk 1. Glad to have everybody on. I had started the phone system a little bit late. You got to have silence when you start that thing, or it is not going to work. So I was, so now let's see, it is on. Now it's on. Okay. All right, there we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Hutch Bailey Jr. that you heard there. What's up, Hutch?
Hey, how you doing, Wayne?
What's up, man? We have a special guest calling in tonight, star actor. You've watched him on Grey's Anatomy, and he was on there for a while, and then he was off, and then they brought him back on toward the end. But he's on a hit show right now, The 100. Which is on the CW. I enjoy that show, and he's a great actor, as a matter of fact. I've been in talks with him over the last couple months, and I wanted him to come on a couple months ago, and because he followed me, and we kind of talked, and strong, powerful black man. I mean, he's regular man. He's a strong, powerful man, period. And I wanted him to come on to give some, let's see, what do you call it? Motivational talk to you out there that are listening on radio and through the video on RSBN. But he's gone through something, and it's, Hutch, when you want to help somebody, and money is involved, and you give that money, and you thinking everything is okay, and then that person gets lost, that person gets ghost. You don't hear from that person anymore.
Yeah.
And and this person would, you would think this person was standout, like. Nope, it's still not working. Was standout, big time. This guy is part of a big organization and stuff, just like you. And y'all gonna make a big splash and stuff, and all of a sudden you don't hear from him no more, and he has your money.
It's happened to me, sure.
So I know a little bit about the background of the story. I invited Mr. Washington on, Isaiah. I invited him on to talk about it. And I want you, ladies and gentlemen, those that are listening, those that are watching, I want you to get the word out. Okay? This is, what's it called? Call to arms, or what do they call it? Call to action. There we go. Because we can't have our. I mean, look, you wouldn't want this to happen to you. You wouldn't want this to happen to you, and it's happened to one of our own. So we're definitely going to try to help him any way that we can. Our caller tonight is calling in from Florida. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello, Florida. Okay. All right. Oh, you know what?
You forgot to put the on-air thing on.
No, I didn't. No, I did. Yep.
Trying to make it funny, man.
Yep.
Call in again. Give it another shot.
So, before Isaiah comes on, I'm tired of hearing about Susan Rice.
So am I, man. Thank you.
I'm serious. I mean, either you're going to put her in front of Congress and investigate her, or like Stacey said, screw Congress and put her in front of a grand jury and let that happen. I'm tired of hearing about the woman. And it's like, geez, man, she here talking.
Oh,
tired of it.
If you can't throw her in prison, you might as well just close the prison.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, Florida, do we have you on the line right now? Florida, you're on air. Okay, not anymore. Okay, so I'm like, what in the world is going on? That this woman, it's Rice is in the tweet, it's in the Facebook, it's in the, it's on TV, it's on all. I'm tired of hearing about this woman now. I'm serious. If they ain't gonna do nothing with her, let it go.
I'm tired of hearing about every time somebody mentions Rice, as soon as even the people on the right, but the people on the left, they have to automatically mention Trump colluding with the Russians. No matter what answer they give, what explanation they give, even Senator Tom Cotton, well, we know we still have the Russian. Come on, man. That's the part that's getting me. The Russia collusion fantasy that these people keep pushing forward. That's what's driving me crazy. I listened to Stephen Hayes on Special Report with Brett Baer, and Stephen Hayes, he got every single thing wrong during the campaign. Every single issue he got wrong. He works for the failing Weekly Standard that Bill Kristol was forced to step down from because he got everything wrong. Mm-hmm. And he's going to sit there and list 3 ways why Trump colluding with the Russians is still important. It's like, stop it.
Right. Let's see, wait a minute. We got...
And, okay, good.
Yeah, hold on. I remember now. I got to try this phone system every show to make sure it's working right. Hey, we got California on the line. California, you on the line?
Yo.
There we go. All right.
Wait.
All right, we got you.
Okay.
What you want to talk about real quick?
Good to go?
Yeah. Yep.
Just another shout out, and hey, this is JC from the RSBN chat room. Hey, you guys keep up the fight, man. We got to keep fighting.
All right.
This is bull crap. Love you guys.
All right, thanks, Jay. That's what I'm talking about. I had to have that audio check. Yeah, I was worried there for a second, but okay, we good. So again, Susan Rice, lock her ass up, or give her a cruise and let her go on her way. Okay, because as long as she is, look, you know what I kind of associated Susan Rice today with Evelyn Farkas last week. And I'm getting tired of this crap, man. I was going to say something else, but I'm getting tired of this. 2 weeks ago, Susan Rice said she didn't know nothing about it. Now all of a sudden, well, that's not real. That's not real.
She said, "I don't know nothing about nothing."
Yeah, my name is Wes. I ain't in that mess. My name's Paul. That's between y'all. That's what she tried to do 2 weeks ago, and now, well, what I was saying. This is Evelyn Farkas 2.0. This is like Nancy Pelosi and Maxine Waters, but you got Evelyn Farkas and Susan Rice. I'm serious, man. I'm serious. If you ain't gonna lock these women up, Lock him up. Lock him up, or send him over to Saudi Arabia and put him under Sharia law and let that be their punishment. I don't care.
Now I know you because of your what you do with your website. I know you heard all the clips from all the, especially CNN.
Oh, Don
But
Lemon.
this media is melting down, man. They're totally denying that 2 + 2 = 4. It's right in front of their face.
Let me tell you something, Dandy Don. Let me tell you something, you little sweet cakes. It's not over.
Too.
It's not over. It's not over. No matter what you, Chris Kumo, Jake Tapper, and all the rest of you little bath rat. Huh?
Anderson Cooper, all of them.
Yeah, no matter what y'all little bathroom beauties decide that y'all want to go with your direction of y'all's network, it's not over. It's not over. That's just bottom line. It's not over. You know.
And you know the best part about it is that a new media guy broke it, and then an old school media guy from Bloomberg had to back him up. It's like, you guys keep on lying, keep on doing it, no problem. It's going to get you. It's going to bite you. Guaranteed, the truth will come out.
We're working on. So okay, again, season rice, people. All right, I'm tired. And you know what? I even had to go and get Adam Housley in here. Adam Housley will be here tomorrow. I did that on purpose. I did that crap on purpose. And I'm trying to get Tucker next week.
That'd be a good one. He's really leading the charge, man. He's doing a good job.
Well, his numbers are going down.
Carlson's.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir. You don't think it's because of us, do you?
It's probably that's probably it.
All right, yeah. I mean, because
let's just go with that.
We are the ones that forced Megyn Kelly to roll out. You know that, right?
Let's just go with that too. I like that.
Y'all know.
Did she die, man? Where'd she go?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Don't see her anymore. Kind of like Bill Crystal. You don't see him anymore.
I used to think Megyn Kelly was fine.
Me too.
I did.
Until she started talking stupid. Then she's just another dumb blonde.
She got off that seat and that head grew. I was like, oh, she got a big head. She got a big head for a little body.
That's
she
a
was
big
like
old Adam's apple.
Reverse Al Sharpton like type. Bobble.
Did you hear where Obama was?
No.
I told
Gay club?
Well, I mean, like, I'm not saying that, but the dude is at a place in Tahiti that used to be owned by Marlon Brando, with all dudes, for a month.
Shut up.
For a month.
Shut up,
all
Hutch.
dudes.
Shut up,
I'm
Hutch.
saying. I'm
Shut up,
telling you.
Hutch. No.
Look it up.
No.
Look it up.
No.
Look it up. I saw it on the internet.
You're gonna make me look it up too.
He's down in Tahiti in Marlon Brando's bungalow. And I heard a report that it was all dudes like something. And Michelle ain't there. I mean, Michelle's doing whatever Michelle does. Big Mike. They should have let him in.
Barack Obama flies to island in French Polynesia to relax at luxury resort The Brando.
I mean, I don't. It might be masked. I don't know. I think Michelle should get in there and unmask it. I wonder if Larry's down there. Isn't that where Larry settled?
Yeah. That's great. That's crazy. You did that. Yeah. Okay. All right. Oh well. There it is. Let's see, Michelle. It is not known whether Michelle Obama will join her husband during his stay.
She ain't joining him. No, hell no. He's out there. He's
all those men, huh?
It was a long 8 years, man.
All right, whatever. You got me off of Susan Rice. Okay.
You seemed a little tense, man.
No, because you're trying to send her damn name. You ain't gonna if you ain't gonna slap some iron bracelets on her, then let her go, man. Let her go. Jeez.
I think her husband works for NBC too.
Yeah, I saw him.
There's some of that collusion going on. There's some collusion for you.
Yeah, I saw him. Big, tall dude.
Go ahead and say it, man.
A big, tall, white dude.
There you go.
Serious, man. He looked like Swin Nader for the Los Angeles Lakers, man. Yeah, he looked like Swin Nader, 7-foot dude, man. And a camera caught him the wrong way. Man, he was digging in that nose, man. He was like,
was he?
Yeah, man, he was getting it. He was getting it. I mean, the camera didn't even break away. It's like the camera was like fixed on him, just fixed on him, you know.
Making a statement.
Yeah, well, whatever, man. She going to jail or not? I don't know.
That's a lying woman, though, man. She doesn't. I mean, and that's she's known for it now. Everywhere that they talk about SR, I don't want to say the name and set you off, but they always call her a liar because she is. She lied so bad with Benghazi. You know, the reason that she went to the UN, if you remember, they wanted her to be the Secretary of State. But after those lies, I forgot about that. After those lies in Benghazi, they said, well, we're not going to fire you because we don't fire people. We're not going to put you in jail, but we'll make you head of the UN.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Unbelievable, these people, man. It's just recycled garbage. That's all it is. There's not an honest person in the Democrat crime family anymore. They got rid of them all. How many people have gone to jail for anything?
Let me see. We got a caller on the line. Caller, what's your name? Hello, caller. They're listening to the show. Caller.
Is there volume adjustments or something?
Hello, caller. Hey, caller, you're on the line. That caller's gone too. That's weird.
That's some Arsenio Hall stuff. Things that make you go,
That's weird. Let's see.
But yeah, these
This is a test right here. Hey, Brandon.
Hey, man, what's going on? Just wanted to say hi to you and say I think your phone system is great, man. I think it adds a nice dynamic to the show. And it's good that you and Hutch got that good chemistry. Just wanted to let you know that. And to follow up with Hutch real quickly, you're talking about the gay bar. I'm not politically correct. For the people on the right side broadcasting chat or your listeners, let's see if they remember the Blue Oyster Club. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh.
All right, man. Enjoy the show.
Oh, did he go there? He went there, didn't he?
He went there. I mean,
he went there. He went there.
Apparently the phone system works, though. So come on, ladies and gentlemen, get on the ball. It works, right? I mean, that was through the system.
From the South. Isaiah just told me, he said he called in, but he's getting a guy that sounds like he's from the South. Is this you and another host? So I guess I
don't sound like I'm from the South.
I guess I sound like I'm from the South. Let me see if this is him right here. Yeah. Mr. Washington, is this you? Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Who's on the line? Lord Jesus. Lord. Lord, help me.
Tell him to call on Skype.
Well, I mean, yeah, this thing that the Insta tweet Google face is supposed to be working right now. Let's see. Okay, Washington is on it. Let me see. Let me try this one. Hey, Washington, you're on the line.
Okay, it's Music World, Wayne. Just calling in, make sure your phone's working.
Thank you, dear. Thank you so much.
And I also wanted to mention there is one move that President Trump could do to shut up all these media pie holes, and that is go ahead and play the media blackout card.
Oh.
Hey.
Yeah. Hey.
I wouldn't object to that.
Yeah. There you go. All right. Well, thank you, MW. Thank you, MW.
All right. Take care.
Big hug to you.
Shout
All right, now we know it works.
Yeah, it works. And I think we have Mr. Washington on the air. Is this Mr. Washington on the air? My brother.
I'm sorry about that, guys. I got so intrigued in the conversation. I thought I was eavesdropping.
That's going around these days.
I was like, I've never heard this kind of real talk before, so I was more interested in listening.
Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, I have a special person on the line. You have seen him as Dr. Preston Burke on Grey's Anatomy. He plays Thelonious Jaha and the CW's 100, which is I have watched it up to a certain point. When they took it off of Netflix, or was it Netflix? No. Actually,
it's still on
Amazon.
Netflix. It just airs after we get off of Amazon. I didn't know that.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, I watched that thing for like 2.5 weeks. I caught up on everything. I was like, look, the intro music was the one that did it for me. I was like, whoa, okay, all right. And then all of a sudden, I saw my brother out there, Isaiah Washington. I was like, what? Oh, no wonder he's not on Grey Anatomy. He's in space, Mr. President. So.
Oh man!
But no, I am so glad to have you on. I have much respect and admiration. Like I told you in private, I'm going to say it out in public. I have respect and admiration for you as a man and what you have been able to do in your life to this point right now. And I just marvel at what you do, and I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to join our show.
Yeah, I've been tracking. I spend a lot of time on social media. I try to track a lot of things that I find that are relevant to me because, there's been a lot of work that people probably don't know. I've done a lot of work, outside of America, and particularly in one of the toughest regions on the continent in Sierra Leone in West Africa. So
right.
I've been putting a lot of time and energy really trying to go about the business of understanding how I can bridge that gap, particularly for African Americans who are interested, and anyone else, on how we can really understand how important that particular region is to America, and how important the resources are. The average billionaire in Africa is 33 years old.
Wow.
And they don't have any connection to anyone in America, and they desperately want it. But that's just one thing that I've been working on. But obviously, the real reason. As a global citizen and as a citizen, when things don't quite add up, particularly for a different franchise community, that's poor whites, Latinos, African Americans, doesn't matter. And I feel that there's some things going on that I can shine some light on it, then I'm going to do that, especially if I think there's some things going on that's not quite too kosher.
Which is one of the reasons why, because you have that spirit of wanting to help and that mentoring spirit. Let me introduce my co-host here, Mr. Hutch Bailey Jr.
Yeah.
Mr. Hutch Bailey Jr. out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Hutch.
Hey, good evening, Mr. Washington. Just honored to have you with us on the program tonight, sir.
Man, I owe you an apology, man. I put you in Tennessee, and you from
I
Pittsburgh.
know. I heard that, man. They're getting ready to call me Hutch from Mississippi.
That's why I hung up, man. I owe you an apology. I owe you an apology. I thought I was somewhere in Tennessee.
I ate okra one time when I was in the Army. So thanks for coming on the show, man. We appreciate it.
And you know what?
we got a bunch of veterans on the phone.
Oh yeah. And you know what? We also have the lovely lady from Georgia. She is a fan of yours, and she wanted to come on tonight to say hello to you, Miss Stacy Rush.
Okay, Miss Stacy Rush.
Let me see. Hold on, Stacy. Let's see. Is she there? Oh, okay. Well, she's gone. Okay, now let's get to what's going on. Like I said before, you are one of those individuals that cares about mentors, and has that spirit of helping. A lot of times,
my wife calls it a hero complex.
Oh well, I mean, hey, well, you know, I look, you are a hero in the city of the light. So, bingo, in the city of the light. Okay, but there are times when you make decisions to help people, and right now I'm talking generally, but I'm gonna come back to you. Sometimes you make decisions to help people, and it comes back to you 100-fold. But then there's sometimes when people take you down the river and you don't expect it. And I've seen, or I know your story a little bit to the extent, and I want the audience to understand what you are going through as a caring individual, a person that has that spirit, again, the mentoring spirit. I want people to know your story and somehow support and help you in taking care of the situation. So I'm going to turn it over to you, and you go for what you know.
Well, I think I wanted to do it this way, Wayne, because I've been following you, and I'm proud that you are a proud Republican, and you're standing up for yourself, and also a veteran. And you can only be, an African American and a human being this one time in this lifetime. So I just have to give kudos to you. I just mentioned her, the co-host, but I've been following Wayne for a while, and I just felt like on my heart, I could have done one or two things with this particular subject that I'm about to bring up here. I could have gone to TMZ.com. I could have gone to ABC, CBS. I could have gone really, really big. But because I met this individual through social media, and I've been trying to mentor him through social media, I said, well, I'm going to take it back to social media. I'm going to speak on this thing, and then I'm going to let it be. And I'm not going to speak on it anymore because I want to give you the proper context of before I start getting into this conversation. The context of this relationship with the man I'm going to bring up stemmed poignantly from the mentorship of a gentleman by the name of Darren Seals. Darren Seals was one of what we call a day oneer protesters during Ferguson. He was literally there on the ground, almost like a first responder in the community to support Michael Brown's mother. During the Ferguson, riots or uprising or discontent, whatever you want to call it, he was one of the guys that spoke against Black Lives Matter. He did not trust the organization. He didn't trust what was happening. He thought a lot of them were being exploitive and coming into the community to do pretty much just what they did. They got made a lot of names, a lot of social media activists came out of it and doing well for themselves, but virtually the community, as he's been talking, it's still been left behind. He reached out to me on Facebook, and this was about, I think, maybe August of 2015, and I used to talk to him and say, well, your message is being lost. You could possibly be a Fred Hampton in there somewhere. There could possibly be a Martin Luther King in there somewhere. There's certainly a Malcolm X in there somewhere. But in this generation, and some of these millennials, I think the passion gets lost in the vernacular, and particularly when the vernacular is profane. And I said, because you're angry, your message of what you're losing is because you're cursing people out. And the glory of that is he started to listen to me and started trying to change his messaging and get a handle of his passion. And the interesting thing was I was introduced to him by I'm assuming a retired law enforcement officer on Twitter, and she will remain nameless. And she saw this jewel of leader in him as well. And she said, look, Isaiah, I've seen you turn a lot of young men around. I've told young men to pull their pants up, former Marines particularly, not go after the former veterans, trying to pretend they got to get along to get over by pretending to be knuckleheads. And one right now is a major. I digress. But one right now, Nassan Chance, he's a major security guy all over in London, and now he's the personal security guy for the Prime Minister of Kurdistan, where ironically when he was in the military, that was somewhere where he was dressed as a Marine patrolling the area or close to it. So I know this mentorship works. Now, Darren Seals was on September 6th was found shot in the head and burned to a crisp in the vehicle. And it was in September. The last time I talked to him was he had asked me to support him with some funding for a video. Well, needless to say, he got a couple of the videos done, but not the most important one that he felt the most passionate about. Wayne, when I found that news that he had passed away, because he would call me and ask me questions about a young lady he had met because he thought he was in love with and he wanted to get married. He was changing his life around. He was working on an assembly line. He was really working in the community, trying to get things together. He had strong opinions about the election, a lot of things that I agree with him with, and a lot of things I didn't agree with him. But again, it's about the messaging. But the fact that this young man at 29 years old is lost is someone that I knew, that I saw changing and becoming a really progressive and contributor to his community and society, be taken away like that incensed me. Thus, put me in positions where I was looking for some kind of way to help certain grassroots activists. Particularly, it was one group, hashtag Missing24, when we were talking about boycotting and trying to get a handle, and not just talking about police brutality, but just talking about dealing with the training from state to state and some of the statutes of deadly use of force. It's like, let's not get into the racism conversation. Let's just get into the training. Because I know a lot of law enforcement officers, a lot of agents at the federal level, you don't hear about all this craziness at the federal level. So I was joining forces with an organization called Missing24, and we were really starting talking about those kinds of things. And in that, this young man named Maj Toure came out of this conversation, who has this organization called Black Guns Matter. And apparently he was in Atlanta at the time with the person that was the head of a Missing24. I'm no longer working with them. But she said, look, this guy is a dynamic, very charismatic. He has a great idea. He's talking about the Second Amendment, but what he also wants to do is conflict resolution, and he also wants to go into the communities. The guns are already in these black communities or poor communities. He wants to go in and he feels he can cut violence in half. He had been to Chicago with the Vice Lords, and apparently they walked him through. He did a good job, and he did a great job in Philadelphia, and he's doing this amazing work, literally going into these neighborhoods that most law enforcement don't want to go into. So I said, okay. He came to Compton, here in Los Angeles, Compton, California. So I said, okay, well, he's here. Let me check him out. Now, what had happened was he had been getting into these Facebook fights, with people and literally threatening people. And I'm like, well, how are you going to be a grassroots activist and you're coming to San Diego or coming to Compton, where I know there's Crips and Bloods, and you're threatening like, well, if you got a problem with me, I'll beat you out at such and such place in the street. And I'm like, this is madness. So if you're doing a good thing, I don't think you want to come to my state or my neighborhood threatening people. I don't know if that's accurate or not, if you're really crazy. But I said, well, because of Darren Seals' kind of personality, a fighter, I jumped in, 50-50 chance call, and said, look, man, this is Isaiah Washington, and I'm here in the state of California. I'd like to meet you, but I think that, again, you got something really powerful here and positive here, but I'm not really sure what side are you on. Are you a thug? Are you a criminal? Or you're an activist? You can't be both. It just historically doesn't seem to work out. And at the time, this was in November, he took my call, and we met in Compton. Very charismatic. Actually had a local lawyer to teach the local community for free the gun rights in the state of California. very organized. It was actually taking place in one of the few owned African-American gun ranges. And I quietly watched them, and I watched them control an environment that can usually become very volatile very quickly. And these people were just waiting, at his feet. And I said, okay, well, he's pretty well spoken. He's not the person that he comes off and with the rhetoric he uses on Facebook. So there's something going on here. I introduced myself to him, and I went my way. Come December, I get a call from Maj Toure, M-A-J-T-O-U-R-E, Black Guns Matter. And he says, look, I took some of your advice, and I see a lot of things. If you don't mind, I don't know if I have anger issues or whatever it is, but I think if you don't mind, you continue to advise me. And I said, well, sure, young man. No, not a problem. And I continue to do so as he possessed to go on to Sacramento and other cities. Now come December, I talked to a friend of mine named Steve Ross, right there in Washington, D.C. I'm on the advisory board of this political organization called Artists and Athletes Alliance. And what we do is if you have an issue, anyone, a citizen, a private citizen, we allow you to get access directly to a congressional hearing if you need that. If it's, whatever it is, sex trafficking, whatever you want to talk about, we'll give you a platform. We've given one to DeRay McKeeson, who now is being called the head of the Black Lives Matter movement on whatever. And we support any of those who have a positive, powerful voice that want to try to make change. And I said, well, you know what? This guy is doing some really great work in the community. He seemed like he's the only one that's fearless enough to actually go into these communities, come out unscathed. There's no incidents, no violence. We need to have this two-way conversation and say that it's rights for everyone, not just for the wealthy, or not just for the NRA. He's an NRA member. He says he's a Republican. And I said, okay. And some of his views are very conservative. And I said, okay, they're in line with many of mine. I said, okay, that's good. Steve Ross is a Republican, so okay, let's let them meet. We take the call. He asks them a series of questions, and we're going to set up now to get Maj Toure. When the 115th Congress comes back in, we're going to get this young man before Congress to have his day. Wayne, as soon as that call is over, Maj tells me, well, you know what? I need to be straight with you, Mr. Washington. I said, okay, what do you mean? He says, well, I got in a gunfight last night. And I said, oh, wow. He said, well, I don't want to tell you this because I don't want to scare you away. And I said, well, was there any loss of life? Or was there in a position where law enforcement get involved? Is there a record of this? He said, no. And I said, so you have permission to carry in the state of Pennsylvania? Is that correct? And he said, yes. You carry concealed? He said, yes. I said, and this was self-defense? He said, yes. And I said, and there's no record of this anywhere? He said, no. And he said, but I think that, someone's trying to take my life, and I need your help. Well, quite naturally, this is December. I lost one mentee in September in Darren Seal.
Right.
So quite naturally, I don't flinch.
Right.
I respond right away. I have two sons of my own, one soon to be 18, and like I shared with you, I just still pretty much raw from the loss of Darren Seal, murdered. So I don't play with things like this at all.
Right.
I take it very seriously. So I said, well, what is it that you need from me? And he said, well, I need to get out of my community. I can work for my people, but I can't be of my people. And he emails me, and I said, well, what does that mean? And he, within seconds, emails me a place of an apartment that he wants to get into. So what I do, I call some friends in Philadelphia, and I said, well, some churches. And I go, look, this young man here, there, whatever. He's in your city. He's marched array, Black Guns Matter. This is what happened. 2 people I thought from major churches, benevolent, say, oh, what, they don't have the money to help them. They don't have the money to help them. I said, well, I know you probably go to the police department, but let's see if there's something that you can work out with them. He didn't want to do that. So because of Darren Sills, and I didn't respond when he wanted me to help him get out of Ferguson, I said, okay, this is what I'll do. Tell me how much you need. I say, but I don't run a charity, domestically. I do have a foundation, but it's specifically monies are dealing with helping people in West Africa. So I have to make that very clear. I said, so whatever capital I'll give to you, I have to make sure it's documented. I have to make sure that we get it back. This is not a loan. This is not charity. And he said, okay. He said, well, what do you want? And I said, well, what else do you want to do other than get out of your community? What else do you want to do with Black Guns Matter? He says, well, I want to make it bigger. I want to create it. I said, well, what's your vision for it? Didn't really have one. And I said, I tell you what. I said, you're doing these free classes to educate the community, but you're not. How are you making money? How are you going to survive? I said, why don't you look at a possibility where you can build your own Black Guns Matters firing range? Own it. So I had people do information and checks to see how much money. I did the whole thing. So I said, he didn't know how to do it. And I said, he didn't understand. So I said, I tell you what, I'll help you get into this situation, but I need to have a memorandum of understanding signed first. Right. What I didn't know with my attorney is that he can't sign the MOU because Black Guns Matter is not incorporated yet, as we find out. Now, time is ticking, and I'm getting texts from him, like labor pains. So I finally broke down and said, look, okay, I'm going to send you $800 Western Union, but young man, I can't move any further until you're protected and I'm protected, and let's get this paperwork done. So I sent him that, and emails, texts, they still keep coming. I said, all right, it's almost Christmas. I'm on my vacation. And I called the place that he wanted to move into, and I went as far as becoming the guarantor on his 2-year lease. That was his Christmas gift. He told me, I thought, you may have saved my life. And that made a young lady who's at that particular place where he's living today on the 17th floor. I gave him X amount of thousands of dollars, roughly over $6,000 to be exact, to save his life. Now, I said, well, what I want from this is that I'm going to continue to move forward, if you don't have the money, to find you an attorney, pro bono, in Philadelphia. Find someone that any incident like this happens, you have to make a document, you have to make a call to your attorney, make sure that you document this. This cannot happen again if you're going to be taken seriously as a CEO of Black, Guns Matter Incorporated or whatever. And he'd agreed. Moves in, shows me the keys, great. I go on with my holiday, and I give him another, I got $1,000, and I give him another $5,000 because now he says, well, I need this because I want to keep my T-shirts and my coffee mugs going. I can make hundreds of whatever thousands of dollars a year on that alone, and I can pay my rent on my own. And I said, okay, great, no problem. Send him that. He's comfortable. Next thing I know, his phones don't work. I'm not getting the calls as much anymore. He's calling me from what feels like a burner. I'm not this, I'm not that. I'm not hearing him on Twitter anymore. This and that. All of a sudden, come January, I don't really hear him. Every once in a while, he calls me, hey, peace, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, good. So how you doing, son? Good, great. Department, great. What's the next mission? Great. Doing the interviews. He does Tommy Loran. I coach him on that to make sure, stick to your messaging. I turn him on to various people, other celebrities on Twitter, really try to expand him and get him to the next level, thinking he's seriously ready to be out there in this leader and create this major brand. Long story, less interesting, I finally get Black Guns Matter Incorporated in the state of California. That comes in February 2nd. Okay? No, March 2nd. And this guy does a complete 180. I thought you were a friend. I thought you were an elder. I told you not to do that. And I said, well, yeah, but my attorneys already looked in the state of Philadelphia and the state of New Jersey. There is no Black Guns Matter LLC. There's no Black Guns Matter, nothing. I said, so you have no bank account, because I tried to give you a $5,000 check, and I had to call 2 banks in Philadelphia on my holiday from Canada to get you that money, cash, check. Every time I see something, it's Western Union. And I'm like, your phones don't work when I call you. I'm like, man, what's going on?
Right.
I said, I do think I have a right at this point. I'm not trying to
hell
own
yeah.
you or anything, but
yeah,
I think I have a right to ask some questions. You know what I mean? So now I'm not getting any calls. I'm getting all this hubris. I'm looking at some of his tweets, and he's talking about he's going to the gym.
Hold on, wait.
What?
You're saying he wasn't answering any calls. He wasn't responding to anything, but he's still tweeting.
Nothing. Still tweeting
like
he's Nino Brown from New Jack City. And I will call him and say, look, man, some of these tweets are not in alignment with the kind of partnership I want to have with you. I said,
right.
Trust me when I tell you, this Twitter thing can be very toxic and it can get you in a lot of trouble.
Yep,
okay?
sure can.
I said, so, oh, no, don't worry about it. I'm the man that every man wants to be and the man that every woman wants to be with. And I'm saying to myself,
who is this guy?
Who? This guy.
Yeah.
Now, before that, I covered over that. The first red flag was when I finally got the MOU put together that he couldn't sign anyway. I asked him for a Social Security number, ran it through, came back as another name, not Marge Teray. I said, look, man, called him, didn't get back to me. Emailed him, didn't get back to me. Called him later on, 4 hours later, he finally got back to me. Hey, man, I'm just calling you right now just to let you know I would never do anything like that. I said, well, I've had a Social Security number for 54 years. I've never made a mistake on it. That's one of the first numbers I memorized. So what's your number? Because I can't send you any more cash other than $800, okay, until I find out who you are. So finally, he sends me the number. My attorney runs and comes back and says, okay, you got me. That's not my real name. And I said, well, at that point, I'm thinking, well, no problem. I'm an actor. There's a lot of people. Jamie Foxx that's not his real name. You know what I mean? That's what I'm.
Right.
So I'm not gonna. Everyone deserves a second chance. I'm not gonna shoot. No pun intended, shoot the guy down because of that. Maybe he did make a mistake, and we move on. Next thing, he says, well, I appreciate if you don't tell anyone what my real name is. Even the people, I said, wait a minute, you tell me the people that you got working with you and working for you and your whole crew, they don't know who you are? And then he says, yeah. And I said, well, man, don't worry about that. And I said, well, okay, happy birthday. Because December 25th, I saw the little balloons go up on Twitter. That's your birthday. So that's not your birthday either, right? Because that's not your real name, but that's not your real birthday. And he says, no, so you weren't born on Christmas. Now, that's flag 2. Now, I should have known better at that point, but I'm thinking, now, how am I going to get my money back?
Right.
That first flag for me would have been that gunfight. But I'm just saying.
Now, how am I going to... Yeah, exactly, right? But like I said, my thought processes, I was still raw from the other mentees that I lost.
Right.
So I can't kick myself for caring. But what I can kick myself for is being silent today about who he is.
Right.
And the innocent people out there that are looking up to him. And Black Guns Matter. And all the people that I now have talked to, my friends at the DEA level and everyone else are telling me, step away from this guy. So as my civic duty is, I'm not going to expose him on CNN, But I am going to talk to Wayne Dupree, and whatever you do with this interview, however you send it out, that's what it will be. A young lady who was just in Jacksonville, Florida, just followed me back. Got 300 followers, and I'm sure she was excited to follow me back, thinking, wow, this celebrity just followed me, blah, blah, blah. Well, she just flown him to Jacksonville, Florida, to do one of his free fire safety classes. And I just hit her with the same information that I hit you with, Wayne, and every other celebrity. The exact same block. The one thing I'm going to do while he's talking about the Second Amendment, I'm using my First Amendment quietly, like a father.
That's right.
To say, do what you want, but this is who this guy is. And he's the kind of person that can call you from December all the way to Christmas Eve talking about where's the bread, okay, to get what he needs, and out of my good heart and integrity and still mourning of another young man, still blinded by that clearly, I go and do it because I think I don't want this black man to lose his life. Now, see, that is the really, that's the thing that gets me.
Right.
Is that you got a human being out there manipulating others because other people are dying in these communities.
Right.
I don't know what kind of wolf that is in that kind of sheep's clothing. I don't want to know what kind of hybrid of a human being that can put a smile or a grimace on their face and pretend to be something that they clearly despise. And would have no record, no paper trail of who they are, but have a website, raising GoFundMe money, and being this great guy, doing a great service, supposedly working for the NRA or wanting to be an alternative to the NRA, which I thought he wanted to be. But this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to say that Maj Touré is not the man I thought he was, and I don't want other people and celebrities to be victimized like I was, and I don't want the name of a true activist like a Darren Field to go unheard, unspoken, and lost, who was truly murdered for speaking out for his community. And we have some possible person, I don't want to disparage him, no liability, but a person that I know for fact is not who he claims to be. And the one fact I do know is that if you even decide you don't want to go into business with me, that's fine. You even have the right to own me, but you don't have the right
to just walk away,
pretend to be something that you're not, going into these needy, disenfranchised communities, giving them what? A bunch of information, and then leaving them with what? A rubber gun in their hands. They don't have the money to go and buy the weapon. They probably have the weapons in the communities, but you leave them with what? Excitement about to do what? To empower them to do what? If you don't leave some kind of ownership for them in that community, which is what I had $5 million for him to create. The goal was, I had my friend who works, sits on the council of the Wildlife and Hunting Heritage Conservation Council there in Washington, D.C., had already carved out $5 million for me.
Some fool.
To help this young man. The RV he wanted to go across the country in his 50-city tour, we already had the RV. He wanted the THC top of the line. We already had one. Now this guy F's all that over because of $6,000? I don't think so.
Wow.
Something doesn't smell right.
Well,
and whoever is giving him any more money on that GoFundMe, I just think they need to vet him and get him.
You know what? I forgot. I have got to let everybody know. This guy that Isaiah is talking about also has a GoFundMe page. He's trying to raise, I think, $150,000. Now he
had $5 million, Wayne.
He's already stiffed. He's already stiffed Isaiah for $6,000 or $7,000 already, and now his GoFundMe is up at $35,000. Okay.
But because he didn't want to, the guy, so my attorney, I said, look, he said the guy doesn't want to open a bank account. I said, well, how the hell are you going to put, where am I going to put $5 million if you don't want to open up a Bank of America?
No.
Well, GoFundMe's not going to send dollars.
Oh, no. No. You're right about that.
They're not going to send a drone and drop some money off.
Hey,
right here, guys.
Hey, Isaiah, we gotta roll on this one, but what I need to do, we need to reschedule you to come back on. We got
compelling story.
Yeah. Well, I have been dropping notes.
No, the bottom line is I as a mentor, and there's more of them out there like me. I had to get some closure. I had to say something to someone somewhere other than my therapist. And what I'm really saying, and I don't have to say any more about it, is that I hope and pray that whatever you do with this conversation, whether I come back or not, is that it will hit him and wake him up. The door is still open for him to do the right thing and be a man. Pay me what we owe. It's not even about the money. Just do the right thing.
Gotcha.
And if he's incapable of doing that, then that opens up a whole nother can of worms that I probably wouldn't have been able to help him with, even when he called me for help in December. He was already a lost cause. So that's what I'm saying. And Black Guns Matter is picking up steam, and it's picking up room around the country. And the NRA is using him very well because he's African American. But all I'm saying is, if you treat someone like me this way, imagine all the so-called people that he needed NDAs and cease and desist he asked me for. Or did he scam them too? Were they really haters, or they're just disgruntled people that he's fooled as well? And that's really the long and short of it. But the thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to move forward with gun advocacy, the two-way conversation, and I'm going to move forward with gun education on my own way. I just want people to be warned about this man supposedly named Mars Toure and Black Guns Matter, because not a good deal at all.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have put the GoFundMe in the chat room and on both the websites. If you feel compelled to report it, report it. But I am after the show's over, we're going to send it on the West Coast. We are going to we're going to have it up for replay on the video up on the Spreaker Radio, and we want you to share it as much as you can. I've already given you the guy's Twitter account. And I'm not saying to go on there and hound him. But
he's just gonna block you anyway.
But you need to let him. Yeah, that's right. He has got $35,000 on the go. Somebody from the chat room was like, "Wow, he's already got $35,000." Yeah, he already has $35,000. So
break some of that off and send it back where you got it from.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
Isaiah,
Thank you, Wayne. I appreciate it.
How can people reach out to you on social media? I mean, I already know, but
hey, man, I don't have any reason. I'm easy. I'm not hiding. I'm not running. I'm at iWashington on Twitter. But you can really find me quicker. I'm verified as Isaiah Washington on Facebook. That's where I spend most of my time, and just be available for people that enjoy me being available to them. And I enjoy being available to people that not just need things, financially, but just information. I enjoy that. It's about giving back for me. My life has been so blessed and so glorious that I love helping. I just do. But I can't be silent. Part of my helping is I really feel bad about this, and I didn't want to do it, but I prayed on it, and I said, but if I don't say anything and something happens to this young man,
it's the man in you coming out, man. I mean, we all feel like that, especially when we get had like that. Compelling story, sir. Thanks.
Well, you know what? I am trying to. If you find somebody that is not talking on your Facebook page, kick them off and put me on. I already sent you a message. So.
You got it, Wayne.
All right. Thanks a lot, man.
And I know you didn't. I know you didn't mean it like that, right?
No. It's all love. It's all love.
Right.
No, but look, I'll be talking to you behind the scenes, and we'll get something done on this.
Yeah.
We'll get something done on this.
Yeah.
Man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right.
Like I said, we all have to grow up at some point, and hopefully this situation would either help him grow up or grow out.
Right.
I don't know. But the way he's handling this business, and certainly the way he's handled me, he would never be a major success as I thought he wanted to be on this particular path.
Exactly.
It's not going to work that way.
You are an angel, man. God bless you. I love you. Take care of yourself.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
All right.
Thanks, Jose.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Isaiah Washington, we're a little bit over, but I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Hutch, how can people reach out to you on social media, my friend?
Hey, stop over to steelcityresistance.blogspot.com. I'm Berg's Eye View on Twitter and Hutch Bailey Jr. on Facebook. Thanks, everyone.
And I want everybody to realize this, too. It's not that he got took, okay? Don't walk away thinking, oh, well, it's just another guy that got took. No. If you listen to his story, this guy tried to help in so many ways. And there's still a way to fix this. So I gave you the means. Go and do. You can follow me on Twitter, Insta tweet, Google Face. Just type Wayne Dupree Show. All right, people. Tomorrow we'll have Adam Housley in here from Fox News. And on Thursday night, we got Sebastian Gorka. We got some surprises next week coming up for you, too. I got a little hookup at Fox News. So we're going to see who's coming in.
Thanks for listening to the award-winning Wayne Dupree Show, named one of the top 50 influential Black Republicans by Newsmax. Contribute to the program by going to WayneDupree.com and clicking on Donate. Also, support the show and take us on the go by downloading our free app. Just search Wayne Dupree in your app store.
You are fake news.
Sick of fake news? Tune in to the Wayne Dupree Show. Real talk, and you'll always hear it with us. Bring 2 to 3 friends to the show tomorrow night, and let's make America great again together.
God bless America, and no place else.
This has been the Wayne Dupree Show.